Hello everybody out there, and welcome to another episode of the Talk That Talk Show with me, Barry Holmes. We're here for our 147th episode of the Talk That Talk Show. I want to give a big time shout out to Rob Santiago on the Instagram live stream. Also big time shout out to Matthew Smedick, my boy Admiral, on the Instagram live stream as well too. But each and every week that number climbs up as far as episodes. It speaks towards that t-shirt that we just made with the OG15. Consistency is something that you just can't take a week off with. That consistency is what it enables people to come in on this Facebook and Instagram live, and even afterwards to get messages like Brian Spawn, where he's telling me different things that he wants to hear about on the show, and just the general interest from people continues to increase, and it keeps me humbled, man. I think that it could be easy to take for granted just the amount of support that is given, whether it be for a drop or whether it be to pop in on the episode. But those are the types of things that I never take for granted, because again, I remember the days of having no one on here for Facebook Live, or not having anybody on Instagram Live. So that's why I try to put my 110% into each episode and just try and give you all a glimpse into what my life is like throughout the week. And one of the big things that continues to push me forward has been getting back into the employed field this year, joining back with the school that pretty much I never thought that I would be back into, with working in New York City. And initially, again, I talked about before about how I was a little wary to try and go over to New York City because of the whole vaccine mandate that they had as far as making their workers be vaccinated inside the school system. And that was something that worried me. But when it came down to it, I just had to make the best decision for myself. And that's what I encourage each and every person out there to do. A lot of times it seems like we're faced with decisions where we have no other options. And initially I had thought that part of the reason as to why I wanted to get the shot was just to be able to make money in New York and everything like that. But as we've seen moving forward, as far as how things have shaped out, it seems like more and more it's trying to hinder people that aren't as vaccinated to have their access to do things. And what we've seen has been like this ever evolving sense of what normal is, or what it is to be like to live an everyday. And I remember when going in there, they had the mask mandate with bowling, where everybody's in there was wearing the mask. And now you see more so than not, a lot of people have been shedding the mask. And what we have seen, especially talking about directly affecting my work environment, is the fact that New York City, if for those people that don't know, New York City was actually just passed on Monday. They're going to pass their mandate for in schools. There will be no more mask mandated from the students. And earlier this week, everybody knows I do run recess out at the school, and they had lifted the mandate for kids outside of the school grounds. So while you're outside, you didn't have to wear it. And I always wondered when that would happen, what it would be like as far as what option people would take. And what I have seen is that from the people that have come outside and worked with me, they kind of have shed their mask adult wise, and half and half with the students. But one of the things that the principals wanted me to do as far as with talking to the students is making sure that everyone knows that they have their own choice whether to wear the mask or whether not to wear the mask. And to see on such a elementary level, literally, where students are saying singling other students out for wearing masks, and people saying, why are you wearing the mask or whatever. And it's crazy to see that at such a small elementary level, like I said. And then to now have on Monday where all masks will be lifted. And, one of the things that, one of the coworkers had said to me was that, do you think that, it'll be normal again? Or do you think that, things will go back to normal? And I go this to say that, from, re-entering the work world and going through, this crazy thing of COVID that we have been through. I just had a coworker that just came back, and, we've talked before about, how things have kind of went down, but, she had just came back from having COVID, and she said that, it was a terrible time for her. And, I think that it's so easy because, we're starting to see some of these mandates and everything being shed, that we lose sight of why we had them in the first place. And, I know a lot of people are excited in New York about, not having the masks. I had teachers come up to me say, have you heard the good news? Finally take these things off. And, me and Mo, the guy that I've been, working with ever so closely out at recess and then the after school program, we had said to ourselves that we were still going to be outside and wearing them. And what we have seen is that from some students seeing that we still had our masks on, we saw that, a good bit of students that, didn't want to take their masks off were still wearing them. And, that's the one thing that I will say is that I think that, at least from talking to some teachers and talking to other educators and other people that this had to deal with, a lot of people assume that because you're vaccinated that, the mask is unnecessary. And, I think that couldn't be any more, far from the truth, where, for us out there, do not forget that this thing does exist. And, am I excited that these mandates are getting lifted? I definitely am, because, in a way, it kind of has us trending in the right direction, trending towards, whatever normal used to be back then. But, I think that, from a standpoint where you had King Side Patch, you said that it messed up people's mental health. I mean, it definitely did. I mean, a lot of people were caged inside, and I've seen a lot of people that have, stayed inside and have changed their entire habits and changed the way that we live life. And that's something that's happened. But I think that, with this mandate being removed in the school system in New York City, it kind of is like an underlier, or it's kind of like a precursor of what we're going to start to see with, more travel agencies opening up, gyms potentially fully getting out there as far as, things that you're enabled to do. And, it is something to be excited about. But again, I just want to remind people about the severity of what we've come from with this disease. And, just keep that in mind, try and keep each other safe. I know that as we're starting to get outside, it's going to be, with warmer weather, we're going to want to be out and, experiencing that freedom that we're starting to see a little bit more. And, what we have seen as well with, the spike of things going down with this disease and virus, whatever you want to call it, we saw that the NFL took the first step as far as being the first major, corporation to kind of lift their mandates, the first league to lift them. And I remember in fantasy football, every week it seemed like somebody was under COVID protocol, and you're constantly having to, fix the waiver wire and stuff like that. And, what we saw was, the rapid testing and, all the different things to kind of prevent this. And, for the NFL to be the first organization to say, hey, we're lifting this, we're full go to try and go back to, as they're calling it, pre-COVID regulations. It's crazy to think that that was just 2 years ago. Here we are in 2022. And, the next thing that I kind of think about, when I hear that the NFL is kind of lifting this is, does this mean that the NBA is going to try and, step towards those types of things? Are we going to see if baseball comes back? What's that going to look like? Because, they're still under lockout, and we don't know if we're going to even have a baseball season. They're already canceling games. So, what we have seen, like I said, with this lifting of the mandate with New York City, with schools, like I said, kids not having to wear masks in the school, out of the school, it's kind of like that first step for like a lot of other major things to kind of trend in this natural style of trying to go back to being normal. But I think, again, like I said at the beginning of the topic, that just this kind of idea of normal continues to build each and every day. And the main thing is, whether you've chose to get the vaccine, whether you chose not to, just like we've told the kids, it is your decision whether you choose to wear a mask or whether you choose not to wear a mask. But the main thing that we want to get to everyone across, is the decision is your decision, and you should never shame anyone for trying to make the decision that they want to make for themselves. And we're always continuously trying to figure out what this idea of normal is, and however way we can try get to the new norm or to take those steps in the right direction. Things like what's going to happen on Monday are exciting for sure, but as long as we keep things in perspective, everything will be trending in the right direction. But one thing that continues to remain consistent with me has always been my ever so growing love of hats. I actually just got my I think it's like 7th hat duffel. Yes, I'm crazy, guys. I love hats, but there's been a lot of great drops that have happened. I'm actually rocking this Hat Club Iceberg hat for all of you hat club lovers out there. It's always good to go in the vault and see kind of what you had, and going through those different hats that you've got. But my boy Robert Brantley Jr. says that jersey is fire, and I haven't decided whether I'm going to wear this hat tomorrow, but I am so excited to rock this DIY jersey, which I will get to later on in the show. But I definitely want to get into some of these drops that I was able to pick up this past week for all my hat lovers out there. And for those of you that watch me on or follow me on my Instagram at CatMasterB, you know that I was at that MyFitteds drop this past Saturday. And I mentioned to you all before about how nervous I was as far as trying to sell out in the store for the second time, and featuring these pins and seeing just how the reception would be at a big time drop, because the first time that we had it, there was a hat drop happening at the other location, so we didn't simultaneously do a hat drop with our pin drop. And what we saw last Saturday was a huge reception. And even before I had left the place, Kenny Lou had texted me to say that our pins had sold out. And I was so excited to hear that news, because, again, at the end of last show, I told you that was one of the goals, was to try and sell out twice, and to not, in a way, upstage something as big as that drop that we had last week with like 11 different hats. But my boy Kenny Lou, he's somebody that's been doing great work with me with trying to build this Garden State Collaborative, and to have that not for sale pin sell out, it was huge. And then after that, to see the amount of people that were posting on their stories, I saw in hat battles people were using the pin. It was absolutely dope, man. And then I had somebody shout out to Nightwing and shout out to King Side Patch. Also Bones Brims, they were huge in as far as posting pictures with the pins. And then I had Nightwing who reached out to me and said, "Hey, I wouldn't mind seeing a couple of different colorways." And to hear that reception from people, it gets the creative juices flowing. It kind of gets you trending forward. When I hear different people tell me how much they love this show, it just makes me want to come out here every week and give you guys another show. So to hear people really love this pin and that they want to, see more from us, it's very encouraging, and it's very validating. And I just hope that for me telling you all about, how we were able to just take an idea and just do it. I think that to take from my boy Koo, who shout out to him at ECapCity, one of the things, as he said, is a lot of people talk about the things that they want to do, but, just do it, and it may seem so easy to do, but, to actually follow through and hold yourself accountable, it's something that in the end, when you see the result, it makes it so worth it, in my opinion. But, aside from selling out in pins, I definitely wanted to show you guys some of the hat pickups that I did get. But this whole pack, I'll code name this the Kenny Lou pack, but he absolutely came different with these 3 hats that I'm going to show to you. These were the first 3 hats to sell out at that hat drop last Saturday, and I'm just happy that I was able to get my hands on some of these. So first one's first. I got to give it up to Kenny on this one. This was absolutely fire. I think this is the Purple Kush. It's an Angels hat, 40th season patch here with the purple underbrim, flat batterman as always. And, this one was absolutely fire. I was hyped to get my hands on this one. Kenny did this whole, I think it was called, the Purple Haze, Purple Kush pack, the, Fly High pack, whatever you want to call it. But this one right here, man, I'm telling you, Kenny Lou, and when he showed me, just how he's able to come up with these designs for hats. And, I'm always amazed to see just what he's coming out with, But I want to show you guys the next one. This one, low-key, was my favorite from the entire pack. And a lot of people slept on this hat. I know I'm going to get into the wild card that, Russ had dropped that day. But this one right here, this was the Purple Haze. And, this one right here with the 50th anniversary patch with the pink underbrim, purple hat, Angels again, flat batterman in the back. This one was absolutely fire again, guys. I'm telling you, especially to see the glow-in-the-dark threading. I don't know if you guys can tell, obviously, because I got the lights on, but this does glow in the dark. Kenny Lou is doing big things in the design game, guys, and, really trying to push the boundaries as far as what hats are out there. But this one that I'm about to show you right here, this one is for all the baseball lovers out there. This was Panic. This hat, I think, was the first one to sell out. And, when you see this, you're going to know what this hat is. Here we got the red Seattle Mariners. We got the white brim, all right? We got the white two-tone brim. And the undervisor is the blue. It's got like that sea foam, bluish green or whatever you want to call it. But this is actually called the Ichiro Suzuki. We got the 40th anniversary patch with the silver threading here. And we got the Japanese flag as the batterman in the back. This hat is fire. And when it comes to concepts, I mean, for him to take a Seattle Mariners hat that we've seen done a million times with this 40th anniversary side patch, Kenny still found a way to put his own touch on this to make the Ichiro. And, that's what I'm talking about when it comes to the hat game. And if it comes down to such a saturated market, right? We got a lot of hats, got a lot of pins. I want to see something different. I want to see what you got as a designer that's going to make me say, I need to fucking give my $60, my $50 right now. And right here we have it with the Bisons. We had this one teased for so long, but my boy Russet, he blessed us. He dropped this hat as his wild card for the day. And, we got here the brown under. This is the Lucky Charms yet again, done with the Bisons. All-Star game. What a lot of people don't know about this hat is this was the last year that the Buffalo Bisons were a New York Met affiliate. So this hat right here technically is a Mets hat. So me being a big Mets collector as I am, this one is fire. You got the Bison in the back for the batterman. This was Panic, And when I saw for the resale, I saw people were selling it for like $400, $500, but I was able to hook my boy up for a good price, and he wasn't actually able to make the drop. And it's always about not only getting your money, but at the same time being able to help out your friends and grow your team, because at the end of the day, I got a bowling tournament to be at tomorrow, but I know that my hats are going to be secured. So if you're in the game, whether the hat game, sneaker game, whatever it is, as far as you're selling some sort of merchandise or selling something, you need to find a way to, reach out to your clients and stand out from the other people that are trying to sell the same thing that you are. And, in this game, I've just, tried to, show my integrity and show the creativity to do something different that enables me to continue to, keep this clientele happy, and has really turned out to be a great source of income for me, as well as pleasure with building my own collection. And then finally, big shout out to Koo at ECapCity, because this was definitely a sleeper. Here we got the Zombie Cubs. Comes with the Survival of the Fittest zombie pin here. Yo, Koo came different with this two-tone. Here we got, you definitely got the zombie type theme where we have like those, bright colors on the forest green. Really gives you those zombie vibes. And then kicks it off with a little khaki underbrim, flat batterman in the back, and definitely a very nice patch here with the copper threading here on the 1962 All-Star Game patch. Guys, this hat was panic, sold out in less than a minute online. Thank you so much to my boy Koo for hooking it up with this zombie Cubs. And like I said, it was a great week for the hat game, and I was just so happy to get some of my good pickups that I needed, man. But I definitely told you I wanted to get into it, and I'm wearing this DIY jersey with the iceberg hat to match, because we got a big time matchup coming up tomorrow over at Parkway lanes. Anybody, if you're in the Jersey area and you want to support a team that's got their heart on their sleeve, that's our team in DIY. We said it so many times, we're a team that doesn't have the big-time bowling names that you might think of, but we got heart, man, and I'm just so happy to represent this team. We got a big-time matchup against Reaper Crew. Always respect our opponents. They got some great bowlers, but I love the guys that wear the same jersey as us, man. We got great leaders like Chris Shank Jr., Tripp, all of our teammates at DIY, and they just make bowling just so much fun, and it's a pleasure to bowl together, man, and especially when you're knocking off guys that think that you shouldn't even be in their league. We got people that were on video camera saying how we're the worst team in the league. We're the only to get 40-pieced, and the disrespect has been crazy for a team that's on a crazy winning streak like we are. And I just pride myself on proving people wrong. I know that when I would go to the away gyms when we were playing basketball, it seemed like I always had my best games on the road, because I just love shutting up the opposing fans, and there's no better feeling than just letting the air out of the place and just making everyone in there think that they had a chance to win. Just take that joy away from them and show them defeat. And I just love bowling with my team. I'm just so excited to then bowl for the first time in UBA alongside my brother. So previously, we've been split up where I've been on one pair and he's been on another pair. So, this is the first time in our, UBA history with DIY, we'll be able to be bowling on the same pair. And I'm just really excited for that. Bowling has just been something that I continue to share with you all my experiences with each and every week, because, realistically, I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you that, bowling in a way competitively has shaped me to be who I am now. I played competitive sports. I played high school basketball. I played high school baseball. Played college basketball. But still, there's, nothing in a way that can be more competitive than just bowling against somebody that really wants to kick the shit out of you, man. And, I live for this competition. I'm constantly learning. And, the last couple weeks I was in a little bit, well, I guess you could say funk, or wasn't exactly feeling my best with my bowling game. But again, like I said, I've had the support of a lot of great people, and I've gotten a lot of great feedback from people. And this past week had a pretty decent week of bowling, and I'm just ready to step it up, man. I love being able to be someone that you can depend on and to have those clutch moments for. And last week, when those moments came, I wasn't able to rise to the occasion. And to have this week on a Wednesday night where I was bowling pretty decent, and we were able to squeak out a game, and it's just those little wins that sometimes don't look like wins on the score sheet that will help to get to the greater good, that greater win at the end. And, here I see a great opportunity with us making a playoff run with DIY and just being happy to be the person that, they depend on to deliver them to the promised land, regardless of what I've done in the past. And, I think I've earned that right. And that's something that I don't take lightly, man. So I thank, my DIY brothers for putting me in the lineup, and I'm gonna take us to the promised land, guys. Me and my brother, when we're out there locked in, we're tough to beat, man. So I'm just ready to show y'all that we're gonna be tough to beat tomorrow. And then finally, I definitely want to touch on a little bit. You got UFC 272 coming up, and real quick. If you don't know who Bryce Mitchell is, please watch that fight between him and Edson Barbosa. Edson Barbosa obviously isn't the fighter that he used to be, but Bryce Mitchell, I know he's been hurt. He hasn't fought in a while, but when he fights, he is somebody that, you're definitely going to want to keep your eyes on. I don't want to call him Baby Khabib just yet, but he definitely has the skills, the submission skills, the striking, and he's somebody exciting to watch. But that's not who everybody's going to watch in UFC 272. Who am I kidding? Everybody wants to see that Jorge Masvidal Colby Covington fight, and it's always interesting. We saw it with Gilbert Burns, and with Kamaru Usman, where you have teammates, training partners that have to fight each other. And here we have no blood lost between Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal. And my boy Jeff and me, we were going back and forth as far as, our heart telling us one thing and what the stats say. And, if you're a stats guy, everything should tell you to take Colby Covington. The guy is, 11-3 in the UFC. He's held the interim belt before. His only 2 losses recently have come to Kamaru Usman. So the guy's tough. He can take you to the ground. He's got the striking capabilities. But then you have, that one-hitter quitter guy. You got Jorge Masvidal, who can shut the show down with one punch. And his combos, the guy is, he's an active fighter. And I just think we're in for a bloodbath, man. And I'm excited for it. I don't think there's going to be a submission. If you ask me, as much as I don't want to go with Colby Covington, I don't know, man. I just can't pick Colby Covington. Fuck it. I'm going with my boy Jorge Masvidal. Jeff, write it down. I'm going Jorge Masvidal by knockout in the 4th round. That's my choice for UFC 272. Put in the comments what you guys think. Who you got between Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal. But before I get off this show, I got to do my ceremonial beer review, of course. The vibes. What would this show be without the beer review? But I have here a Southern Tier beer. This is called the New Haze NU, all right? New Haze, Hazy Smooth IPA with a 6% alcohol content. This is actually, I don't know if I told you guys this, but this is brewed out of Lakewood, New York. And you know what? I do like that. I think I've seen on here that it has a little bit of ale. It's got a little bit of an ale type of beer. We're going to have, a lot of times with IPAs, they can be a little heavy. They can be a little bit like, whoa, at first. But this looks like it's a hazy, smooth IPA. So this might be, on the high end of drinkability here, guys. But always want to thank you for, sharing your time with me on a Friday night. It's been a great week, like I said. And, to have it culminate, to have a big-time fight in UFC that we'll be able to check out tomorrow, being able to bowl and represent my team at DIY tomorrow over at Parkway Lanes, and then also to be able to go to a Lucky concert with my brother. I'm so excited for that tomorrow. For those of you that know me, you know how much I love my Lucky. He's been an artist that I definitely have been listening to a lot of late. But, there's a lot for me to look forward to. And I just hope, and something that kind of stuck out to me too is just that, big shout out to Lucky Brims on our Instagram Live. But, I saw a meme that says, the craziest shit is that we work 40 hours a week just to get like 12 to 20 hours of freedom. And when you break it down, that shit is crazy, man. That's why, I had somebody on my hat page that said, man, look at this guy living his life, because I was at the Knicks game on Sunday, then I was at the Devils game on Monday. But, you have people that say, you're living your life, but, we only get so much time to live our life. So, in those times that you're off of work or you don't have those responsibilities, I can't stress enough just how important it is to try and find some sort of passion, try to find some sort of, pastime or hobby, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Just find something that you can lay your hat on that will give you entertainment and joy, because, to work so hard and not have anything to show for it, within your own personal happiness, I don't think it always has to be material, right? So, it's doing those types of things, whether it be, going for walks or exercising. I saw how the exercising has taken my boy Theo from, being down in the dumps about some situation to having all the self-confidence in the world. When you find something that you really enjoy or that can really, bring you happiness out of like a dark spot, you got to continue to do those things, man, because those will help us to continue to go forward in the right direction. So to that, let's try out this new Hazy Smooth IPA by Southern Tier Brewing Company. Now, they definitely weren't lying when they said how smooth this was. It kind of reminds me a little bit of when we were in New York for the Knicks game. My dad, my brother, we had gotten this pink beer called Delirium. And this beer kind of reminds me a little bit of that. It was an IPA that definitely gives you a little bit of a kick. But it's smooth. It definitely is smooth, like it says on the can. So, if you're a fan of IPAs, if you want to try something different, try out this new Haze IPA by Southern Tier Brewing Company. Based out of New York. Can't miss it, man. But once again, that's episode 176 here in the books. Guys, as we continue to move forward and push into the, getting close to that 150 episode. I think it's actually might be episode 147, I think. But, like I said, guys, this show continues to provide for so many people an outlet to experience what I am on a weekly basis, and just think reflectively as far as some of the things that are happening around us as well too. You don't have to be a bowler to know what it feels like to come into a pressure situation and get something done. I know so many times within our own lives, we might have had some things that our family members needed from us, and to deliver in the clutch for them, it's kind of like the same thing with this bowling thing. And you don't have to sell out at a hat drop to know what it feels like to follow through and hold yourself accountable to complete a task that you put for yourself. There's so many things that can be drawn from this show, and all you gotta do is listen to it to be able to take it and help it for yourself. And I just thank every single person that comes on here and listens, whether you're on Instagram Live, whether you're on Facebook Live, whether you missed a week, whether you watch on YouTube. Just know that I'm always going to be here to create a new episode for you all. I'm always going to give you my unfiltered thoughts. And, I'm just going to continue to try and get better each and every day so that, I can get you guys a better episode of Talk That Talk Show. Big shout out to Brian Bloom. Hopefully to have him here on the episode sometime soon. But before I head off the air, I want to thank my sponsors. Big time shout out to Timmy Hugo over at Ink Parlor, Savion Gaynor over at Skydive Socks, Joe Snow Maria over at New York Life, and then Jeff Galata over at Air We Are, man. It's been a great run. We're going to continue to push forward here with the Talk That Talk Show. I love each and every single one of you. And if you are a DIY supporter, I will see you at Parkway Lanes tomorrow. bright and early. Depending on if you show up, maybe I'll buy you a beer. We'll see how I'm feeling. But like I said, I'm just so happy to be here. I'm so happy to have things to look forward to. And I'm just so happy to have things to look forward to with the right people. So I love every single one of you all. And I'll see you all next week.